Even the domestic fowl can identify the compounds of stingy occupants from the compounds that they can feed themselves. You're welcome, viewers. Good morning, sabahul khair, bonjour, ansuma dasba, kwalafia, ekaro, mimamachi. In this episode, we are going to continue with Volume 2, Number 8 of the Gossip. And we're going to page 3. Here again is a Ghanaian affair. What caused the death of Santo? Santo was a popular comedian in Ghana some years back. And this is his picture. Okay, let's start. Let's go, Namshi. As Ghanaian entertainment followers, Omintimrim Drama Group, the key soap concert party organizers and members, Cries for All Mission, Kaswa, and the entire Busumpim, Manfo and Kwachi families of Achim Awisa, and the last but not the least, Peace FM, mourn the ace comedian Kojo Busumpim, alias Bob Santo. The question on the lips of everybody is what caused the death of the very popular and senior dramatist Santo. Paragraph. Varied accounts have been given for the death of Santo. According to Judas, Santos' compatriot, brother and good friend, all combined, he cannot precisely determine what killed his best pal. Paragraph. It will be recalled that the two comedians, alongside others, made a trip to Europe to perform on February 2nd, 2002. But the O is not here. Let me add it. But Santo had to be rushed back here. But Santo had to be rushed back home seriously sick in March. Judas has disclosed that their trip took them to Sweden, Denmark, Holland, Belgium, and Germany. According to Judas, initially the group were given 12 days stay. However, after their first performance in Sweden, Santo was bedridden with multiple boils. As a result, he could not perform. Boils could not perform. Full stop. Paragraph. Boils, according to Judas, are not treated at hospitals. So gradually, with the assistance of Ghanaians resident in Sweden, the boil was treated and the group left Sweden for Denmark. Judas says Ghana's ambassador to Denmark was celebrating Ghana's 6th March 2002 anniversary when they arrived at Denmark, so they took an opportunity to entertain guests at the embassy's reception. Paragraph. Their performance, according to Judas, impressed Ghana's ambassador to Denmark, and so he helped for their visa to be extended to 1 month throughout Europe. Santos' compatriot Judas says Santos' mother died in Ghana around that time, and when news reached the group in Denmark, a befitting funeral rites were held by the group with the assistance of benevolent Ghanaian residents in that country. From then onwards, according to Judas, Santo was never his bubbling and healthy self. He fell sick again and could not perform when the group went to Holland and Germany. Judas lamented how Santo was always indoors being attended to by Ghanaian doctors because he did not have resident permit and health insurance papers to attend hospitals in Europe. Continued on page 8. Page 8, that's the cover page. Sorry for the, oh God. This is it. Continued on page 8. Continue from page 3. According to Judas, he had to seek the assistance of Ghanaian doctors and residents in Europe who assisted Santo to get treatment. This is because Santo was not a resident of Europe, and so he had nothing like health insurance or resident permit which could enable him seek treatment in Europe. I think it was repeated here for a good reason. Okay, in the end, according to Judas, when the going started being tough, there was no alternative other than to cut short the trip, especially when the 1 month visa was elapsing for him to bring Santo back home. Upon arrival, according to Judas, Santo is the very person who said he had a doctor brother called Kwachi Mafo at Kumasi, who owns a clinic, and that he must be sent at once to him. Judas says he did as his colleague bid and had since been paying regular visits to him. Judas said on one occasion he wept bitterly when he met his once healthy and strong friend Bob Santo lying feebly in bed and unable even to eat, and was shocked to hear the news of Santo's death later. Meanwhile, Santo's surviving wife, who has been married to him for 6 years, also declared that as much as she is concerned, her husband died out of jaundice. She, however, confirmed that for the 6 years that she for the 6 years that she had, oh my God, pardon me, that place is a bit blocked. Let's see. I can't get it. For the 6 years that she has been with him into the normal ailment is boil. Maybe he wants to say that his normal ailment is boil. I don't know. Okay, please pardon me. Bear with me. I can't get it very well. I think she wants to say that for the 6 weeks that she has stayed with Santo, his normal ailment is boil sore. So I don't know. Okay. She also confirmed that died when he was in Europe. And considering the oh God, and considering the love Santo has for his mother, it could have been higher. Santo has for his mother, it could have taken an abysmal toll on him, and declared that Santo could have died out of melancholy. Well, paragraph. Well, much as Santo's death has caused a stir with different accounts about what actually caused his death, the fact remains supreme. Persons, full stop, paragraph. Persons who travel outside Ghana to Europe for one business or the other should note that their health and other related matters must be taken into consideration. Full stop. If a promoter engages a Ghanaian group for a show abroad, health insurance packages, albeit for the period when their visa lasts, must not be left out. Santo's issue is a case in point that should be an eye-opener to artists and other people who travel outside Ghana abroad to do shows and return home safely. Okay, let's go back to page 3. Did I read this story on page 2? Beware, cocaine can kill. Medical doctor. We haven't done it. So it's not a continuation. Okay. The rate at which Ghanaian youths and matured persons are dealing and patronizing hard drugs leaves very little to be desired. In the same vein, the rate at which drug users and drug peddlers face varied risks cannot be overemphasized. This observation was made by a Ghanaian medical officer based in the United States when he visited the country recently. The medical officer recounted how drugs such as cocaine has destroyed. The medical officer recounted how drugs such as cocaine have destroyed many lives of the youth in the US, including some Ghanaians. Some have even lost their lives out of drugs. Others too have lost all their properties due to drugs. The medical doctor's admonition brings to mind the sad end of Kibijan. Is it admonition? Maybe it's admonition. Viewers, you can know which word to fix the whether admonition or admonition. Brings to mind the sad end of Kibijan, a dexterous keyboard player who rose to fame from Ghana to Britain, where he joined the Ghanaian Grease Cross musical group. Osi Bisa he had a lot of money and blew up all that money on drugs. And at the same time, he has ruined his career and his life. What's the name of the person? The end of Kirikijan. Kikijan. It's Kikijan. Sorry. Okay, his life. Paragraph. Kiki is now a sick man who, from his own mouth, is being sidelined by not only his friends but his family as well. Of course. Now it's time for them to blame him. Even those who were benefiting from him will now start blaming him. That's mankind. Very sad. Sort of sympathizing with him. Okay, paragraph. A medical doctor, name withheld, has sounded a timely warning to hard drug couriers and users. Paragraph. According to the medical doctor, the risks involved in carrying hard drugs like cocaine, heroin, and cannabis is varied. For example, women who carry the stuff parceled in polythene bags and inserted into their womb have the risk of suffering from womb and pelvic cancer. That's not all. The risk of being found out at the immigration and being imprisoned for so many years stares glaringly before such drug couriers. According to the doctor, the money is attractive, but the health risks are great because there is no permanent cure for cancer of any kind. I think that's all about cooking. Okay, let's go to the next story. New house help robot to be introduced soon. New house help robot to be introduced soon. The sad thing is that we are still employing living human beings to do work for us. Okay, let's see. Once a burger friend told me that in Europe, inventions are put into place so that people will not have to strain their bodies a lot like we do in Africa. Burger is spelled Burger. In Ghana here, we know it as somebody who has gone abroad and come back. Paragraph. I took his tale by the pinch of salt, but my research into an invention of a robot that will soon be introduced to ease the burden of working mothers has made me to have a second thought. Dr. Woodsman, an electrical engineer, in conjunction with a team of sculptors and mechanical engineers, have come out with the invention of a robot which can do all house chores, including washing of dishes. Is it working? Including washing of dishes. I think that's all. Dr. Woodsman and the invented robot continued on page 6. This is a picture of Woodsman and the invented robot, where my finger is. Continued on page 6. It's here. Continued from page 3. That is new robot house help to be introduced. Continued from page 3. That's not all Dr. Woodsman expects his invention to do. The robot can also serve as a nanny and carrier for the children whilst their mother is at work. Very dangerous. I think it's not safe. Okay. Paragraph. All the owner needs to do is to program activities that the robot must perform in the house on a personal computer, and a remote receiver that is attached to the robot will will transmit the task to the task to be performed by the robot to read. Sorry, that place is not clear again. I think it's an extension of the dates on the other side. Okay, but we are able to read it here by the robot to read. Paragraph. The owner then leaves for work, and the robot will dutifully perform its task, just as the owner has programmed it to do. I don't know. Okay. The only hitch is that it cannot respond to emergencies that would arise in the absence of the owner. Of course, it's not the only. It's very risky, I said. Owner. There is, however, a means whereby the owner can monitor activities at home from satellite and issue new instructions when necessary. Still dangerous. It depends how much time the owner has. Pardon me for interjecting so often. Okay. Paragraph and inverted commas. What makes the robot unique is that it is not human and cannot snatch husbands from wives, although it can be a very good and useful house help. Inverted commas close. Dr. Usman declared. I think that's the end of the story. We now go back to page 3. That's one thing about this paper. They spread the stories over a number of pages. Making it difficult to read. Where is it? Page 2. This is it, page 3. True life experience. True life experience. I was seduced by my client. Sorry so far. Janet, a girl whose uncle has sold her only inherited property, a 3-bedroom flat, has approached me to file a suit to seek redress at the court. The filing fees will not cost as much as 500,000 cedis, but Janet is as poor as a church mouse. Full stop. She wants me to help her out and marry her, something that my professional ethics do not allow. She has visited me in my house, although I forbid her to do so. As she rang my doorbell, I was coming out of the bathroom. Now read on. Okay, that's a prelude to the story. Now read on. With only a towel tied around my waist, I went straight to the door and opened it. Full stop. Janet was there, smiling at me. So you came? I accused her. I told you not to come to my house. Inverted commas. Why don't you allow me to come in first? And I'll explain to you why I came. Reluctantly, I allowed her in. She was wearing a black miniskirt and a white t-shirt. Full stop. The miniskirt was very tiny, and most of her lovely legs were exposed. They were wonderful legs, well-shaped, with a lovely fair skin. Her breasts were not big, but they looked firm and pointed. The white t-shirt made them look even more shapeful and firm. Since I was tying only a towel around my body without wearing pants, my manhood quickly reacted to what I had seen. It was erect and sticking out of the towel. Kai! Okay. And sticking out of the towel. I just couldn't control myself. The bulge was so big and noticeable that I had to sit down quickly on a nearby chair before Janet could notice it. Okay, whether you like it or not, she had already noticed it. You don't know how clever women are. Yeah, man like you. Mhm. Okay, before Janet would notice it. Ordinarily, I would have gone to my bedroom to change into something smart, like jeans, and also wear pants. But if I had done so, Janet would have seen my hurrying way with a big erection in front of me. That would be a big embarrassment. Full stop. The smartest thing to do would be to sit down quickly and cross my legs. Oh, well, it won't help. And cross my legs one over the other. It won't help. And where will the organ be? In front or where? Okay. Or facing up or what? Okay. And that was exactly what I did. And that was exactly what I did. Janet did not know why I had to sit down abruptly. That's what thinking. She knew it. She had achieved her aim. She has succeeded in her mission. So don't think that she didn't know. She was actually looking around in curiosity, being a place she had not entered before. So, by the time her attention shifted to me, I was already sitting down and forced a smile at her. Sit down, I said, motioning to a chair that was a bit far away from the one I was sitting on. But Lola pretended as if she did not hear me. She catwalked herself to where I was and sat very close to me on the two-seater chair I was sitting. Janet pretended not to have heard me. She catwalked herself to where I was sat, very close to me on the two-seater chair I was sitting. It's a repetition. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not the one repeating it. It's in the paper. Okay. One I was sitting on. Yes, from the one I was sitting on. I wanted to get up to tell her to sit somewhere else, but she didn't give me the time to say a word or take any action. I have brought all the documents at the house, in inverted commas, she said, quickly to arrest my interest. She said, quickly to arrest my interest. Her strategy worked because my focus was now on the documents she was giving me. I took them from her and looked at them. The documents were the genuine papers and original copies of the deed assignment. Sorry. The documents were the genuine and original copies of the deed of assignment and certificate of occupancy of her father's house. which her uncle managed to sell. Have your uncle seen these documents before? I asked her. The man that bought the house, that's a question, then inverted commas. The man that bought the house was given only purchase receipt by my uncle. It was a receipt. It was a receipt he forged. He also gave the man an agreement which says that my father's family owns the house. Owns the house as family property, and they have agreed to sell it to him. I'm sure my uncle doesn't know what the building has all. I'm sure my uncle doesn't know that the building has all these documents. He would have looked for them at all costs. Even myself, I didn't know about the documents until the house had been sold. I came across them in one of my late father's briefcases a week ago. That's why I am eager to take this matter to court, she replied. Paragraph and inverted commas. You have a very good and concrete case. I told her confidently, I can guarantee that you will win the case and get your house back. Paragraph. Then help me, she exclaimed, and melted into a seductive smile. I couldn't get any money, but I beg you to help me. If you help me to take the case to court, I don't mind coming here every weekend to wash your clothes. It's not here, it's here. I don't mind coming here every weekend to wash your clothes, cook your meals, and do anything you want me to do. Full stop. Lawyer, please, I will do anything you want. When a woman says that, you know what she means. Lawyer, I will do anything you want. As she was talking, she was stretching and twisting her body and arching her breast towards me. She was so close to me that the nipples of her breast were just continued on page 6. That the nipples of her breast were just. Seduced by my lawyer. I can't get it on page 6. Rather, it's not on page 6, it's on page 7. Look at that. It's rather on page 7 and they say page 6. Look at that. Okay. Inches from my bare chest. Inches from my bare chest. That would have been the point for me to take some decisive action to stop the obvious seduction. But my manhood once more betrayed me. Oh my God. It was fully erect, hard, and throbbing forcefully between my legs. Lawyer, please, now. Hey. What now? So it says, inverted commas, paragraph. Lawyer, please, now, Janet said in a very romantic voice as she began to caress my arms and chest with her hand. Paragraph. Janet, stop it. I said quickly. I said weakly. Okay, of course, I like it. Of course, weakly. Janet, stop it. I said weakly. My voice sounded like somebody who was asleep. Oh my God. My voice sounded like somebody who was asleep. There was no threat or warning in what I said. My spirit was indeed weak, but my manhood was willing. It was strong and raring to go. I don't know whether it's actually raring or ready to go. It was strong and ready to go. Let me use ready there. From that moment, I was not in control of my action. I was perhaps under strong romantic forces we we in control of my actions. It's not we, it's where it should be where. That were in control of my actions. I don't know if maybe these are printing errors. One moment I was sitting down, the next moment I saw myself rise to my feet. Paragraph. As I rose to my feet, the towel fell from my waist to the ground. Oh my God. I was now naked with my fully erect manhood hanging out. Oh my God. Janet saw it and began to laugh, but I didn't give her any breathing space. I grabbed her, lifted her into my arms, and carried her into my bedroom. Paragraph. I threw her on my bed as soon as I entered the bedroom and climbed on top of her. She did not resist in any way. She was merely laughing and pleading with me to take it easy. There was no room for taking things easy. She asked for it. I didn't want to do it, but she had placed me in a position where I could no longer say no. I just had to sleep with her. My mind didn't go to her case at that time. I was just in the mood to give her what she had asked for, because I had agreed to her proposal of paying the legal fees with her body. I pulled her t-shirt up so I could have access to her breast. I wasn't disappointed at all with what I saw. Her breasts were youthful, erect, and inviting. My manhood reacted by kicking forward and back. By kicking forward and back. I held her skirt by the waist and pulled it down. But guess what? She was not wearing pants. Abba! So she had prepared long in advance before going to the lawyer. You can trust women. She was not wearing pants. I was expecting to see a white, red, or possibly black pants when I pulled down her skirt. But what I saw was the real thing. The hair on it was not much, and it looked tantalizing. I did not waste time again. I simply pulled out the skirt and spread her legs. Her womanhood was open before me, and I could see the tantalizing and tintinnabulating red vulva. Haba! Should I repeat that? I could see the tantalizing and tintinnabulating red vulva. Paragraph. I lowered myself a bit and began to insert my manhood into her. She closed her eyes immediately. Full stop. Her lips were parted, but her teeth were clenched. And when I pressed further into her, she shook her body and moaned at the same time. I spelled AAA-H. She shook her body and moaned at the same time. Should I show it to you? Paragraph. I waited for some brief period for her to absorb the pain before I thrashed deeper into her. Again, she moaned. Ah. By one, I was deeply inside her. Okay, that's it. By one, I was deeply inside her. I'm reading what I say, please. Uh, she was now really enjoying it. She folded her legs and spread them wider. She folded her legs and spread them wider so I could get in deeper and deeper. She put her hands on my back and began to rub it all over vigorously. Full stop. While she was doing all this, she was moaning in ecstasy. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh, ah, ah, eh? Ooh, oh, ah, ah. Where my thumb is? Ooh, oh, ah, ah. Paragraph. For more than 20 minutes, we enjoyed ourselves, and when she was climaxing, she really screamed like a mad woman. But I was sure it was the excitement that was too much for her to handle. Very soon, I also climaxed. She spent the night with me that night. The following day, I filed her papers. Of course, you have taken your money already, so you have to file her papers immediately. The following morning, I filed her papers. We went to court and won the case. She is now living in her own house. Meanwhile, she would not see any other man other than me. Our relationship was grown so much that the ultimate is for me to engage her and marry her. Paragraph. Naturally, what the two of us did was not right, according to the ethics of my job. But now that we are planning our engagement and wedding, our conscience are free. Our consciences are free. I'm sorry. Janet is going to be my wife. Some people meet their wives at funerals, others at a dance or concert house. Paragraph. I met Janet right in my office. She was a client and I a lawyer. She seduced me and will soon be my wife. That's the end of the story. And when we come, hopefully we are going to page 4. Thank you very much. Ila likai. Bye-bye.